Is Mick in the house? You're next after. Sorry. Yeah, he's like, screw you. Okay, here you go. I messed up the order. I'm sorry. Are you guys ready for my high wire act here? Thanks for that. I was going for a walk with my wife and young child about a month ago, and we're in Luana Beach and having a great time. The sun is shining, and we're going along kind of Point Robinson area, and we run into this map of Vashon. And nice to see a map in this world, and I'm not a very technological guy, and something like a real map, something that exists, feels really comforting to me. And I was picturing, and I see this map, and I was picturing someone who wasn't from the island, and they're biking around or they're running around, and they see the map of the island, and they're refreshed because they're lost. They need to figure out which way to go, where they are, which is a natural feeling when you're lost. So I go up to this map and I look at it and I realize that on this map there's not a dot that says you are here. There's not a dot that says you are here. Which is interesting for a map to be posted on the telephone pole for people who are lost and need to find their way home and they don't know where they are. So I was thinking about posting random maps on random telephone poles. Stockholm, Copenhagen, Fargo, which I think would be a great idea. That doesn't connect to my next subject, which is the advent of technology and what is happening in our world. And I don't want to stand on my soapbox too much, but everyone is looking at their phone. There are people looking at their phones right now to check their Facebook status, and there are many things I believe wrong with this. There's the idea of memory and communication, and there are a lot of things that I think everyone would agree with right now. But my biggest problem is that these things take attention away from me. Because when I'm sitting with someone, talking with someone, I want their attention. And yes. And tied in with the advent of technology and the direction we're headed, I saw I forget even how I saw this, but I saw an advertisement for, and I'm not even sure if it was a website or a television channel or what it was, but it was a spot where you could post your video game highlights. Which I think is like a combination of like the worst things tied in with the worst things, tied in with the worst things. And then I was wondering, what's worse? Posting your video game highlight or watching someone else's video game highlight? And I hope no one is checking how their video highlight is doing right now. Because I would kick you out of here if I had the right. My next connection has no punchline. And I've been thinking about a punchline for most of the night and being frustrated by it. But the idea is tied in with the last couple jokes And it includes 2 words. My 2 least favorite words right now. And those 2 words are reply all. Because I have an old-fashioned flip phone, and whenever someone sends a mass text message, that gets shortened to text, and someone responds to that message, I get a message about a response to that message from someone I don't know. And then sometimes I get a response to that response to the message that I didn't give a shit about to begin with, from someone I didn't know to someone I didn't know. And that's on my phone right now, taking up the valuable room. That I guess my phone has some room or something. No punchline. I was driving home with my wife today, and she said, casually, Soren just, our child, our 1-year-old child, you guys can hold the applause for later. Our 1-year-old child just pissed on me. And the strange thing in a parent's life is that the way she said it was kind of like she's bragging about it. Soren just pissed on me, she said. And Soren might watch this video in a few years and be very proud of his dad for telling this story. A lot of material in having a child. We got blocks, we got square blocks and cubes. I'm a math teacher, I should call them cubes. And so we got blocks, and we'd start stacking the blocks up, and we'd have Soren crawl over, and he'd knock them over, and it was this really, really fun game. And then I got really into the blocks. Because I would have 1 block, and then I'd have 2 blocks on top of that 1 block, and then I'd have 3 blocks, and then I'd have 4 blocks. And you guys are probably having a tough time picturing that I was really, really interested in this, and then I put 5 blocks, and then be side by side, and then I go up to 4, and then up to 3. Should I continue? Yeah. And so then I went 2, and then I went up 1, and then I went back wider again, but it was on the carpet, and so it was kind of soft, so it wasn't that stable. And then there'd be times where I put 4 blocks on 1 block, and then I put 1 block on top of those 4, and they'd balance, and it's crazy. And there's a moment where Soren, there are many moments actually when Soren would see me stacking the blocks, and he'd have this big smile on his face. And I'd be like, no, Soren, wait. Wait, your dad is building this amazing creation. And then I'd explain to him, I'd say there's 1 block, and then there's 2 blocks, and then there's 3 blocks on top of that, and then there's 4 blocks, and then 5, can you believe it? And he wouldn't believe it. And he wouldn't give a shit, and he'd smack them over. And I would grit my teeth and laugh. And then there's one time, and this is maybe my worst / best parenting story, is that I was building this awesome thing, and it was even better than like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's hard for you guys to imagine something better than that, but I was building that. And then Soren sees that, and he starts smiling, and he's drooling a little bit, and he's ready to knock that over. And I go, Soren, it's time for you to be in the jumper. So I put Soren in the jumper, and he's jumping, he's having a pretty good time, but he really wants to knock that over. And that's not my most proud moment as a parent. There are many issues, as all parents can attest, sleeping issues, and what's worse, not quite as bad, but almost as bad as your child having sleep issues, is hearing people tell you about it. Because there are a lot of opinions in this world, and many parents have opinions as to how you should raise your child and how you should get your child to sleep. And those opinions all contradict each other. And there are books, and books say one thing, and then another book says another thing, and you're supposed to do all these things. And I'm not going to pretend like I read all these books. My wife did, and I want to give her credit for that. But I started reading them, and then I thought of a great idea. One way to put our child to sleep would be to throw these books in the crib with him. Because once you open those books and start reading them, you fall asleep. And yes, he can read novels right now. He's one. And so there are things to everything is great. He's grown up, and we're in a good spot. And now he's starting to question, and he's not questioning with words so much. He's questioning more like, And then there are going to be questions, and there are valuable lessons in asking questions, and we're going to encourage that for the rest of our life. And there's one question that makes me nervous, and there's going to be questions where I'm going to have answers, and there's going to be questions where I make up answers, and I'm going to feel good about both the real answers and the made-up answers. But there's one question that I'm not going to be able to answer, and I don't think I'm going to be able to make up. And that question is, Dad, why is my reflection upside down when I look inside a spoon? And our child is growing quickly, and I'm getting ready for this question, but I still don't have an answer for it. And as I think about this, I think about my response, and I can't help but give the easy response. And I make up a lot of shit, as you guys know, and I know a couple things, like the block thing, like the 1, 2, 3, 4. I know how to do that. I can go back to that later. But the spoon, the reflection thing, is crazy, and I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to explain that. And I picture him asking that, and I picture myself stumbling, and I say, and I'll have to say something very quickly, and I'll say, "That's what God made." And then from that point, I'll picture things cascading. That's an easy answer, and I'll continue to use this if I'm not quite quick on my toes, if I don't have the right answer for this. And it's a good answer to that question, and then I'll find myself, he's going to be getting older, and we're going to have to go to church, and because of the spoon thing, and I picture standing next to my wife and child, and we're in church, and we're sitting down, and there's a time where you stand up and you greet the person next to you, in front of you, behind you, and I'm going to be sitting next to a young-ish parent like myself, and we're going to shrug our shoulders, and we're going to say, kind of at the same time, we're going to say, "Yeah, the spoon thing." And then we're going to have this short little conversation like, "Yeah, why is it upside down? Like it's here, but your head is upside down, your face is upside down. I don't get it. That's why we're here." Thank you very much.